Will, thanks so much for being with us. What exactly is an associate manager, my friend? Seems like a little bit higher level than most guys.
No, it's not. I think bench coach is the best way to describe it. A lot of my duties are the same as traditional bench coach.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us. Now, is there any nerves that come from being a part of something like this? I know that we ask the players sometimes if they have anxiety or nerves, but what about for an associate manager / bench coach?
Yeah, it's been a lot of nerves, to be honest. It seems like every step of the way, the nerves get a little bit more. Even though I thought, you'd be a little more used to it as we get going here. But it's just such a big deal, and, we appreciate the opportunity so much. It's hard not to have nerves when you're getting ready for these games.
It's funny because you played in the big leagues for quite some time. It's as a player, you can kind of control things on the field once you step in between the white lines. As a manager or an associate manager, you can't really do that. Is it harder as a member of the coaching staff?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little bit. There's focus that you have to have during the game where you've got responsibilities, but a lot of it is just sitting and watching. And like you said, you're just an observer half the time, so it could be tough there on the bench.
All right, Nathan Eovaldi goes for you guys tonight. Will, such a good guy, such a good player, such a good pitcher, just such a good human being. What has made him so successful this season, especially in the postseason?
He's just dedicated to his craft. I mean, it's a guy that's been in every position, every situation, and just has a really good understanding of himself as a pitcher, has a good understanding of his opponent, and we see what that combination leads to in the playoffs. He's just an incredible performer and keeps doing it every single year.
All right, you guys are 7-0 when you score first. You're also 8-0 on the road in the postseason. What do you make of those two stats?
Yeah, I don't know. I think these guys are just ready to play every day. They're comfortable in every environment, and we've been fortunate to be able to strike first in some of these games. But I think regardless of if we're scoring first or not, whether we're at home or on the road, these guys are ready to go out there and give their best effort.
All right, I want to talk to you about the Rangers bullpen. Obviously, you want your starters to go deep into the ball game, but speak to the way that the bullpen has kind of corrected itself towards the end of the regular season and into this postseason.
Yeah, they've done an amazing job. Every one of those guys has been amazing. Really have stabilized us at the back end there, and even those other guys that are, show up more in the middle of the game have done a great job. And I think they just found their identity. They're confident, they understand what their roles are, and they're going out there and doing their job.
I mean, Josh Sborz is a completely different guy, Will, as a Texas Ranger than he was as a Los Angeles Dodger. What have you seen about his maturation process and just the stuff that he has, but more so his ability to locate it now?
Yeah, I think it's the same kind of thing, just an understanding of himself. Obviously, the first pitch strikes are huge for him, and for him to be able to execute the first pitch strike and then follow it up with the stuff that he has, we're seeing just how impactful he can be out there.
And what about the maturation process of Leclerc, a younger guy, but he's been thrown into some very high leverage situations?
Yeah, he's been incredible. Parts of the year this year where he wasn't pitching like he wanted to, but he got his confidence back, he got his stuff back, and I mean he's been as dependable as anyone I've seen, and pitching some really big spots for us here down the stretch. He's been amazing.
Texas Rangers are just one of 6 teams, Will, in major leagues that does not have a World Series championship. What do you think it would mean to the organization and to that state, to that city?
Yeah, a ton. I've been part of the playoffs here in the past, and in the time between, just seeing what the organization has gone through, how close they were in 2010 and 2011, and understanding Ray and CY with their vision, and just being in tune with the community here would mean a ton. And we're excited about the opportunity to bring it home for them.
What have you learned from Bruce Bochy? He's on his way to the Hall of Fame. Already has 3 World Series championships. To his credit, what have you learned from him?
A lot, with the whole staff. He's just really inclusive, and so every day you come to the ballpark empowered to give your opinion. He asks what you think about stuff, and he just really challenges everybody to grow with the way he goes about it. So for me, in every facet of the game, whether it's in-game strategy stuff, bullpen usage, how to create an environment where players can be at their best, he's just taught me a ton.
Were you surprised that Chris Young hired Bruce Bochy since he didn't go to Princeton? I thought that was a requirement.
Yeah, well, the 3 world championships, I think, trump the lack of the Ivy League education there. So we'll give Boch cut him some slack there.
Yeah, no question about that. I wanted to ask you, too, it's been widely documented, Will, that you've been asked to interview for managerial positions and other positions in different organizations, but you were very adamant that you wanted to stay in Texas. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the interest, but right now, the focus is here, these guys, these players, and just being prepared for Game 1 of the World Series.
All right, Will Venable, the associate manager for the Texas Rangers, going for their first World Series title. It begins tonight at Globe Life Field there in Arlington. We appreciate your time and best of luck the rest of the way, Will.
Thanks, Alana.